Well, I spoke earlier about chatting to Brian Joffe, and Bidvest's interim earnings have risen as a result of strong gains in the local and other markets. He employs now some 120,000 people globally, does Bidvest, with a headquarters in Melrose Arch, which has half a dozen executives. I spoke to Brian Joffe for more on the Adcock Ingram control battle and the Bidvest numbers themselves.
Well, it's not my choice to start with, and it's obviously a board issue. My personal view is that I don't see any reason why Jonathan Lowe and the financial guy shouldn't get an opportunity to show their wares under a Bidvest model. And if they do, then of course then there's no real reason to be aggressive with them. If they don't, of course, and they obviously can't deliver on that, of course then one's got to, it's not only Jonathan Lowe, it's just part of our culture.
With that kind of opportunity, how long do you give the management to say, okay, we can change and deliver what you want?
Well, I think it's very difficult to put time frames on these things. I mean, Adcock is 100 years old and probably got 100 years of good things and 100 years of bad things. I think one has got to give them an opportunity. I'm not talking about years, I'm talking about months, to show that at least a willingness to deliver the kind of structures that we think are important for a successful operation.
As I say, I interviewed you a while ago and asked about some of the things that you do with a vast decentralized organization where you hold people accountable on the ground, but you like to keep in touch. One of the things you said was you like a daily cash flow, I think. What are 2 or 3 of those things that you use to keep in touch with this? It's 120,000 people globally now that you employ.
Yeah, look, it's a lot of people, but it's structured in a much more...
So what do they have to tell you and how?
Well, I think we have certain touch points, and so cash is obviously a very important component piece, so that we get those kind of numbers daily. We get sales weekly, we get gross profit margins weekly, we get management reports monthly, we have board meetings, management board meetings monthly, board meetings quarterly. So we're pretty much in touch. We have a lot of interactive seminars, so we have a lot of people communication, a lot of informal discussion. We encourage a lot of partying, if you want to call it that, in a formal sense, and so I think the management knows pretty much what's going on. But as I said, it's very decentralized. I think the lower echelons of management know the role that they play in the total. So from my point of view, that's absolutely critical. And if you can get to achieve it, and we aren't 100% of the way there yet, if you can get everybody on side with it, you really have to succeed.
You have a very small head office too.
Yeah, I mean, our head office consists of less than 10 people. So, but as I said, it's, we can't pass on costs. So the guys in the subsidiaries and the operating companies have the right to reject any costs that come out of the head office. So if we decide we want to build a centralized IT department, they have got the right to say we don't want your IT. So there's just no ways that we can build up significant costs in our head office because they won't take it.
Let's look at your recent results. As it happens, it's at the same time as you being appointed non-executive chairman at Adcock Ingram. But the half-year results, headline earnings up 16%, revenue up 19%. Where are for you the high points of this set of results?
Well, I think this is a high point set of results. It was just one of those sets of results that everybody sort of like came through. Helped a little bit by the exchange rate, of course, and a little bit by acquisitions. But I think quite a good performance, bearing in mind quite difficult trading conditions, quite a lot of volatile currency in South Africa. We've seen some improvement in some of the markets. Europe, I think, is one area. The UK is obviously coming out of quite a deep recession, and so I think we've had some help along the way. But our management has just done well. I don't say perfectly, because I think in the asset management field, I don't think we've done as well as we should have done. I think there's been a bit of slippage there, but it's obviously there is some timing in that as well. But generally, I'm very impressed. And bearing in mind, this is under a new structured format that we introduced about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So the current new executive management have done a fantastic job.
Let's look at the mix of the business, and it's one of those things where you're in so many different areas now. If some don't perform, others probably will. It seems like your exposure means that never will everywhere do badly, and maybe sometimes they'll all do well.
Well, I think in this particular set of results, I think they've all done reasonably well. But for me, that's not a good or bad set of results. I mean, at the end of the day, in the reporting structures, we report on average. So you see all the averages of many actions. From a management point of view, we obviously manage by unit, by business unit, not even by a reported division, but even by a business unit. So we have some weak points, and you're right, some of them do well and some of them do badly. I hope that we never have to rely on the fact that some do well and some do badly, and on average we do well.
You've been quoted as saying, I'm not interested in the cycles. We adapt the business and how we do things to the cycle.
Well, I think difficult market conditions make for better opportunities for better managers. And I think the next 6 months that we're into, with the election and public holidays falling in bad places and the devaluation of the currency as it is now, I think there are some real significant challenges in South Africa. But that's not an excuse not to perform. We have to find a way to deliver under difficult circumstances, and that's what distinguishes our management, I hope, from our competitors.
Looking at your range of businesses, it's several pages, each with 3 or 4 businesses per page. Do you have a core business apart from making money for your shareholders?
Well, I think the primary objective of a business is to deliver to all stakeholders. The shareholders are obviously a very important component piece, because bearing in mind, it's not only, when people talk about shareholders, they think these are people with a lot of money. But in a large number of instances, these results influence many pensioners, many disabled people, many people who are without anything. So it's very, very important for us to deliver financially. But having said that, I think we also have some obligations, and we do, social obligations, and obviously the reform issues that are going through in South Africa over the last 20 years, and probably still going on for more. We have to deliver under those, and we also have to deliver quality workplace conditions for our staff.